Well, more trouble tonight for cult leader Victor Barnard, who was recently hospitalized after he was assaulted by a fellow prisoner.
One of the cult survivors is now filing a civil lawsuit, and Victor Barnard is not the only target in this.
And Tom Lyon of the Fox 9 Investigators is here breaking the story. Something you've been on top of from the very beginning.
We sure have tried. Victor Barnard's name is actually on the top of this lawsuit, but no one really believes he has any assets. He's not the real end game here. This lawsuit filed late this afternoon is really about the other leaders of the River Road Fellowship. It specifically names 15 of them, saying they failed to protect the teenage girls in the group from, quote, the perversions of Victor Barnard. The woman who filed the lawsuit, who you will hear from tonight, believes they knew plenty and ignored even more. Much of this lawsuit based on the criminal case that prosecutors recently opened up to the Fox 9 investigators. You can still find his faithful along the back roads of Pine County, tucked away on small farmsteads and enclaves of ramshackle houses. Those few who remain loyal to their incarcerated prophet, Victor Barnard.
I didn't know it was wrong criminally, what he was doing was raping me.
Lindsay Ternambi was one of the maidens, a group of 10 firstborn daughters who took care of Barnard. They were supposed to be celibate, but Barnard turned them into concubines. She says it was the secret hiding in plain sight.
Yes, Victor is the one who, had sex with me and the other girls, but all the other adults, they were there and they knew about it and didn't do anything. So I believe that they should be held accountable also.
Police and prosecutors believe Victor Barnard still may have a dozen or so followers here in Pine County, living in clusters. We stopped by one of the clusters here on Rhine Lake Road and were immediately told to get off the property and not to come back.
Please leave the property. It says no trespassing.
Well, this is the entire investigation.
Pine County Attorney Reese Fredrickson laid out the evidence to the Fox 9 investigators and told us how Barnard's surprise guilty plea left him with a lingering question. How many of the 140 followers actually knew what was happening?
One of them even referenced that it was a joke among some of the cult members that this was Victor Barnard's harem, but it was only suspicions.
The prosecutor believes Barnard's influence over the cult was a powerful form of mind control.
Being disciples of Christ.
And in statement after statement, a dozen former followers described not a benevolent savior, but a manipulative, vindictive, chain-smoking narcissist who would sometimes spit in the face of his faithful. As one follower said, it was always the Victor show.
Turned a blind eye. If they had questions, they just pushed it aside.
Because if you start thinking that he's molesting young girls, then the whole wall collapses.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all destroyed.
The cult's own internal documents from 20 years ago describe how Victor was their minister, along with his wife Stephanie, and 4 other couples were the trustees, some with daughters in the maidens. Craig Elmblad was Victor's right-hand man and enforcer.
Craig was actually in the meeting where Victor asked my parents if he could eventually have sex with me. I was only 14 at the time.
There was Randy Rourke and his wife Pam, a mother figure to the maidens, who according to the criminal case may have been in the best position to know what was really happening between Victor and the maidens. Lindsay now calls her Victor's pimp.
At one point got us books on sex and sex positions, obviously so that we could read them, to help us in our sex life with Victor.
And then there's the curious case of David Larson, with Victor from the very beginning, who helped establish Shepherd's Camp in Finlayson. But Victor demoted Larson, who would end up cooperating with detectives. And in one respect, Larson was one of the first to blow the whistle. In July 2009, Larson wrote this 18-page letter to Victor, accusing him of adultery with the married women in the group. He tells Victor he surrounded himself with a bunch of yes-men, and he is one of the worst. He accuses Victor of fornication with the maidens as well, and writes, "I personally sorrow most for this."
Does that sound like someone who should have done more?
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like he knew about it and just turned a blind eye. And until Victor started sleeping with the married women, then decided to speak up. When all along, he knew what was happening with the young girls.
2 months later, it all falls apart. River Road disintegrates over the adultery allegations. Barnard and 40 of his followers head for Washington State, where many of his top lieutenants still live, setting up small businesses. The maidens now clean houses. They all refuse to talk to detectives. Some even denied they knew Victor.
I'm calling about a lawsuit that I know is going to be filed this week.
Those trustees who we could reach respectfully declined to comment.
How culpable are they, do you think?
I think they are just as culpable. I'd say that some of the elders that formed this church knew what was going on.
But the county attorney admits he doesn't have a criminal case against any of the followers. Just Victor Barnard, who will spend the next 30 years in prison. But what is the fitting punishment for blind obedience? Lindsay Chernaby's hoping to find out in a civil court.
You want to confront them.
Yeah, I want all of them to know that what they did wasn't okay, and that I'm not going to let it slide, you know? They can't just live on the rest of their lives thinking that they had no part in helping Victor, because they did.
This lawsuit is also being filed in Washington State, where many of the former members now live. Several of the defendants had already filed briefs to dismiss this lawsuit even before it was officially filed. The former leaders claim none of the young women or girls ever came to them with these allegations of abuse, and they had no firsthand knowledge. Guys, they are calling it culpability by association. They say they just simply didn't know.
All right, we still don't know the exact size of this group, but do you know how much money they may have or their resources, whatever's left?
At its peak, there were 140. We don't really know how many members there are right now, but that's the big question. What kind of resources do they have? Do they even have any money? We know when they sold Shepherd's Camp, after paying off debt, they left with about $1 million, but according to the documents we read, including that letter from David Larson, they apparently frittered away all that money. He said that's one of the big tragedies of this, is that they did have money, but so much of it was spent on Victor Barnard and his whims, and a lot of it, they say, was simply wasted.
And Barnard hospitalized. Do we know what his condition is now and where he might end up?
The Department of Corrections isn't sharing any of that information because it's a health issue. We know that he was assaulted a couple of weeks ago. We don't know if he's still hospitalized or if he's been returned to incarceration. Presumably, he won't be brought back to Rush City. They'll find a new location for him.
Okay.
All right, Tom.
All right, thanks,
Stay
Tom.
on it.
You bet.